All right, today we are diving deep into a supplement that's been making a ton of noise online. It's called Citrus Burn, and it's aimed at anyone out there who feels like they're doing everything right. The diet, the exercise, but just not seeing the results. So we're going to break it all down. The science, the promises, and, of course, the catch.
I mean, does that hit home for you? Because it does for a lot of people. This quote comes from a pretty thorough review of the product, and man, it just nails that frustrating feeling of hitting a wall. It's a feeling that's especially common once you're over 35.
And that leads us to the big question for today's explainer. Is Citrus Burn the real deal, a genuine breakthrough, or is it just another bottle of expensive hype? We're going to dig into all the available info, from the official website to independent reviews, to see if we can find an answer.
Okay, so before we even pop the lid on a bottle of Citrus Burn, we've got to understand the problem it claims to solve. Because according to the folks who make it, this isn't about you not trying hard enough. Nope. This is about your biology.
The company calls this problem thermogenic resistance. Now, you probably won't find that in a medical textbook. It's their marketing term. But it describes something that is very, very real. Your metabolism slowing down as you get older. Things like hormonal changes and losing a bit of muscle mass mean that your body's internal furnace just doesn't burn as hot as it used to.
Just think about it like this. When you were 25, your metabolic engine was probably roaring, right? But for a lot of us, by the time we hit 45, that engine is kind of idling. It's in a much lower gear. And it's that exact drop-off that Citrus Burn says it's built to fix.
So how in the world does Citrus Burn claim to do that? Well, the whole idea behind it is that it acts like a biological switch. It's designed to find that metabolic furnace of yours and flip it from low power mode back into high gear.
And here's the headline number from their website: a whopping 74% increase in thermogenesis. Now, thermogenesis is just the fancy word for your body burning calories to create heat. A 74% boost? That is a huge claim. So what's inside this thing that's supposed to make that happen?
So it turns out this formula isn't a one-trick pony. The reviews say it's designed to launch a three-pronged attack. First, it flips the switch to wake up your metabolism. Second, it creates the lock to help stop new fat from being stored by keeping your blood sugar steady. And third, it brings the balance by helping with stress hormones and digestion. It's designed to work together as a team.
So how does it pull off that three-pronged attack? Let's get right into it. We're going to go inside the capsule and break down the 7 key botanical ingredients that make this thing tick.
Okay, the star of the show, the absolute foundation of this formula, is something called P-Synephrine. It's extracted from the peel of Seville oranges, a special kind of bitter orange they grow out in Spain. And trust me, this is not the kind of orange you'd have with your breakfast.
So here's why this stuff matters. P-Synephrine is said to latch onto these really specific things in your body called beta-3 adrenergic receptors. Basically, it sends a signal to your fat cells telling them, hey, release that stored energy. But here's the crucial part. According to the sources, it does this without jacking up your heart rate or blood pressure. And that's supposedly why people don't get those awful shaky jitters you see with so many other fat burners.
All right, next up is Berberine. And one review gave it a nickname that really sticks: the Ozempic of Nature. Its main gig is to activate something called AMPK, which is basically the master control switch for your body's energy. You can think of Berberine as the ingredient in charge of that lock phase we talked about, helping to keep blood sugar in check. And then you've got the supporting cast that rounds out the whole formula. There's red pepper to help burn a few more calories, apple vinegar for more blood sugar support, Korean Ginseng to help manage stress hormones, and finally, ginger to help you digest and absorb everything. See? Every ingredient has its own job. Okay, so the science behind the formula sounds pretty targeted, right? But let's get practical. What are actual users saying? What's this stuff going to cost you? And what's the fine print? Now, this is really interesting. According to an analysis of user reviews, the thing people mention most often isn't even the weight loss, it's the energy. People say they wake up feeling clearer, without that brain fog, and they're not hitting that 3 p.m. wall. It suggests the effect is bigger than just the number on the scale. It's about how your whole system is running. Okay, let's talk about the price tag. Look, a single bottle is pretty pricey at $79, but the price drops a lot when you buy more. If you go for the 6-month supply, it comes down to $49 a bottle, and they throw in free shipping. So yeah, the pricing definitely pushes you toward making a longer-term commitment. And that brings us to what might be the most important number in this whole explainer: 180. 180 days. That's 6 full months, and that is how long their money-back guarantee lasts.
And honestly, this is a huge deal. The review we looked at calls this the product's single strongest selling point. And why is that? Because a 180-day guarantee lets you buy the biggest, most cost-effective package and basically try it risk-free for almost half a year to see if it actually works with your body.
All right, we've looked at the problem, the science, the ingredients, the user reports, and that incredible guarantee. It's time to bring it all home and answer that big question we asked at the very beginning.
So let's put it all on the scale. On the pro side, you've got ingredients with some real science behind them, a formula that's designed to be jitter-free, and a guarantee that is, frankly, almost unheard of. On the con side, well, you can only get it from their website. Some people have reported stock issues, and this is a big one, it takes time. This is not being sold as some kind of overnight magic pill.
So, after looking at all the material, the verdict is pretty clear. Citrus Burn does not appear to be a scam. It's presented as a legit, premium supplement, but, and this is key, it's for a very specific person. It's for an adult, probably over 35, who is genuinely struggling with that metabolic slowdown we talked about.
And that's really the bottom line. This whole product is built on the idea of fixing a biological problem, of flipping that switch back on. It is not designed to be a magic bullet that lets you eat whatever you want. So the real question you have to ask yourself is this: are you looking for a tool to make your healthy habits finally pay off? Or are you looking for something to replace those habits altogether? Your answer to that question will tell you everything you need to know.